Oh, hello. Welcome to the channel. I was just reading some poetry. Would you like to hear some? Fight the criminal, chase the bad guys, save the world, fly through the sky. Half kid, I'm amazing. Okay, Static Shock, who you facing? Superhero Static Shock. Alright, let's get on with the video. Welcome to Comic Kick, where we give you your weekly kick of comics. I'm Jacob Knight, and this is a Geek Press. So today, there was some recent news that just popped out. I'm a little late on it. Sorry, life goes on. But we found out that Milestone Comics is coming back. At least part of them is coming back. Milestone returns. Infinite Edition arrives digitally February 26th and in comic book stores on May 25th. This is reintroducing the events of the Big Bang, as well as many of the other Milestone characters such as Static, Icon and Rocket, and Hardware. Before we get into what exactly is happening, let's just have a little bit of background about what is Milestones, and if you're ignorant and you don't know who Static is. Milestones was a group of creators who wanted to come together and publish comic book stories about people that they didn't feel were represented in the current comic book landscape of their time. Now the thing is, while Milestones was technically underneath the umbrella of DC, they basically had, aside from a few caveats DC had creatively, pretty much all control over what went into their stories, their characters, etc., etc. Just to quote this article I found, which I'll put in the description down below. In early 1991, 4 young black men sat down to discuss the lack of diversity in the comic community. Those who had rarely seen accurate and complete culture in comic form was able to do so, and those who wanted to write and illustrate their stories were given the opportunity. The unchallenged by presenting black heroes in a positive and accurate notions. Now I could go into the history of Milestones, which this article does a fantastic job of doing, but for that, we'll leave it at there. So these guys got together and they said, well, we want more characters that we feel could truly represent us. And they did, and they created some really iconic characters. But I feel like since all of you know who I'm talking about, we're going to talk about Virgil Hawkins, aka Static Shock, my man, and one of my favorite shows watching when I was a kid. Static Shock was a show by the WB, the same company that came out with all the Batman shows, etc., and basically they started producing episodes during the early 2000s, and it was about the character of Virgil Hawkins. He got his powers during this chemical explosion, which created a bunch of other metahumans, and he was a hero who just kind of fought for Dakota and his neighborhood and all the people around him. Now, when I was growing up, I thought he was the coolest. He was kind of amazing. I mean, that Little Romeo song at the beginning, best Little Romeo song, top 10, you cannot convince me otherwise. The show was really successful, at least in my opinion, of representations of race issues, of ethnicity. It was really good at just kind of delivering a really intelligent and thoughtful message into this sort of family-oriented medium that anybody could consume. Of course, mileage will vary on whether or not these things come off as too cheesy or too ham-handed, but as a kid, it's just you learn these things and you are exposed to so many different messages in just this cool, tight, well-written package. And it's something that I really responded to as a kid. So basically, this new comic series that's coming out is going to be a 6-issue mini-series, and it's going to be about Static, who kind of lives in this current police state Dakota, where this Big Bang kind of gave a bunch of bang babies, these metahumans, their powers, and he's one of them, and he's kind of just trying to exist, first of all, as a person, and then second, just trying to keep his city and his family safe from these bang babies who will use their gifts to kind of just be terrorized. What's interesting is that Milestones since the Infinite Crisis and Milestone has been folded back into the DC Universe, there's been numerous appearances by several characters and various appearances of Static at the beginning of the New 52, as well as various appearances in different media. They've kind of not had a platform for these characters to interact and be heroic, or at least until now. This is really the freshest wave of Milestone material we've gotten in a while. So I'm just really excited to see what the writers and artists have to produce. And I'll definitely be picking up some of these when they come out physically, because I'm not a big digital comic buyer, sorry. But when I really want something, like if I'm really hyped about it, I'll get the physical, you know. I mean, let's just look at these designs. Hold on. I'm going to put on my design glasses. Now, we only have designs for 2 characters that was published by the DC article. And it's Virgil, Hawkins, Static, because it's really cool. Yellow scheme of black and yellow and has always been really great for him. And I just love the accented lines that kind of just like, it looks like Adidas track pants and just a lightning bolt shirt. And it's something that like a real teenager would put together on the fly. And it looks so sleek. Next, we're going to look at Francis Stone, who's Hot Streak. He was also in the cartoon and part of the comics. And he looks really good here. He looks like a total punk, which works so well. His freaking hair design, I'm just so excited. Now, these character designs by Nicholas Draper Ivy. And Nicholas did a great job just inventing these like 2020 teenage punks, which is great because you can be a good punk and you can be a bad punk. And clearly Static is a good punk. And he's here to fight for himself and his family. And I'm really excited about it. So what did you think of this brief overview of the Milestone universe's return? Are you excited to see more Static and Icon and the rest of them? Or are you just kind of like, I don't know who any of these people are? And if that's the case, would you like a further exploration into how everything came together? These characters, Milestone itself? Let us know in the comments down below, because I'm totally down to create like a deep dive of how the Milestone universe came together by date. So that could be interesting. So don't forget to like and subscribe and come back next time for your weekly kick of comics. I'll see you later.